Hello there guys, and as always, welcome back to the channel. Here we have a brand new series, Simple Rigs. First rig up, the solid bag. In this video we're mainly going to be looking at the rig, but we will go through some simple lead setups also. Here on the channel we love the solid bag rig, very simple, only comprising of two main components and a bait stop. There are many hook options on the market, and the only thing that has real importance is an in-turned eye, but we'll touch on this later on in the video. Another really important factor is to have an uncoated braid. The rig is going to get compressed into a PVA bag, the braid's going to coil up, and if there's any coating it will sort of pinch and it will keep the memory of that. In essence, what we're going to be making here is a simple knotless knot rig. You start off by making a small overhand loop in one end of the braid, and this is going to be for the bait. A little top tip is to use a gate latch baiting needle to assist you with your knots. I will also include a knot tutorial down below for anyone that gets stuck. Now, sliding onto that loop you've just created, put on your preferred bait. Here have a hit and run wafter. Hook bait choice can vary massively, it's all personal preference really. I like to use something small and high attract, so it goes along with the contents of the bag, visible in the daytime and very smelly for the night time. Having a closer look at the hook here, so an in-turned eye is where the eyelet of the hook is angled towards the point. This massively helps hooking potential and your overall hook hold when playing the fish. Once you've done your small loop and added your hook bait of choice, remove about 10 inches of material from your spool. Pass in your fresh tag end through the eyelet of the hook going towards the point, pull the hook bait down so it's just touching the back of the hook. So now you can start your knotless knot. You want to be doing a minimum of 7 turns. I personally wrap down until the braid is level with the point of the hook. Pinching the knot between my thumb and index finger, you can then pass the tag end through the back of the hook again, going towards the point. And there we go, that is the business end complete. In my opinion, there's no need for any kickers or any shrink tube anywhere. Simple is best. Finishing the rig off now, you want to measure out 3 to 4 inches from the hook to the other end of the braid and finish it off with a figure of 8 loop knot. An alternative way to get a bit more strength is to tie the braid directly onto the swivel of your leader. Again, as you can see here, I'm using the gate latch needle to assist me in my knots. Once you've completed this step, you want to trim off your tag end, check over the rig, make sure everything looks good, and that is it complete. Very, very simple, extremely effective. For the sake of the video, we won't be going through any sort of advanced lead setups. This is as simple as it gets. I've just got a piece of lead core, an inline lead and a swivel. An important thing is to make sure your lead isn't fixed and it can freely slide up and down the lead core. This is a very important step. In the event of any sort of snap-offs or anything, you know, worst case scenario, the fish can easily get rid of the lead and it's just got to eject the hook. Again, avoiding buying any extra components, very simple, just loop to loop your rig directly onto that swivel and you have a very tidy, clean setup. That finishes off this segment of tying the very simple rig. Now we're going to put one inside a solid bag, drop it in some water, see how it looks when it'll be on the bottom of the lake. This is my solid bag bucket. In here I have a mixture of different ground baits and pellets. Any leftovers, I just chuck it all in there. It's absolutely perfect. To get the solid bag kicked off, put a small amount of mixture in the bottom of the bag and give this a little pat. Next step is to gently slide your rig into the bag, pinching the lead at the top of the bag with your thumb and index finger. Once this step's complete, you can have a look at the bag, make sure your hook bait and hook is laying nice and flat, separated, there's nothing tangled, and your braid is going in sort of like an S shape up towards the lead. Next step, once your rig's in place and everything's looking good, you can proceed on to filling up the bag up with your solid bag mix. What I do personally is I fill the solid bag to the top so the mix is basically overflowing, and then I'll tap this down on my hand and nest the lead into place. Once you've got that lead bang in the middle and your bait is compacted down a little bit, I'd fill the rest of the bag up, making sure the leader's still in the middle, and start sealing the bag up. You can do this by pinching the top of the solid bag and giving it a few light taps on the bottom, working the mix down as you go. Keep working it, you can keep pinching, you'll feel it all compressing, getting tighter and tighter. If I was making this solid bag on the bank and I was going to cast it out straight away, I'd basically lick my fingers, and as I'm twisting the PVA would stick, and that'd be enough to cast it out straight away and get it into the lake. I often pre-tie these solid bags, so I've got 3 ready to go in a bucket so I can just arrive at the lake, tie them on and get them out there straight away. This is really handy for overnight fishing. In this instance, I use a small amount of PVA tape to keep everything tight and secure overnight, whipping downwards and finishing off with a few simple knots. So there we go, moving on to the final stages of the solid bag. You can neaten everything up by trimming off some of that PVA tape or string. You could even clear up some of the PVA bag at the top. Now it's time to neaten up them bottom corners, making the bag more aerodynamic and making the PVA tighter, so when it does melt on the bottom of the pond, you're going to get a better spread of the mix inside. You do this by simply wetting your finger, dampening up the corner and just folding the PVA over and sticking it to the bag. If I was pre-tying these solid bags in 3 or maybe even pre-tying 10 for a session the next day, I wouldn't do this step. I'd do it just before I cast out, tightening the bag back up. Absolutely perfect. And there we go, that completes the rig, the solid bag. Absolutely deadly tactic, overlooked in the margins, not used enough by people in my opinion. But yeah, once you get used to tying them, you can tie them up pretty quick, and after a few minutes of being in the water, that's the sort of presentation you're looking at on the bottom. Just on the left of the screen there's the hit and run wafter sitting up proud, ready to go. That brings this video to the end. Thank you guys for watching through, and this is the first of many simple rigs in this new series. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and have a fantastic day. Peace.